Hi crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs. Today I was going to make a baby card. My brother's wife is due very soon, and I wanted to show you my process for that. I'll go over what I'm going to be using. I was going to use the Gina K Master Layouts 14, and I was going to do a postage style. Let me just show you what those dies look like. So I'm going to be using this one, the postage. These are all the other pieces that come with that. So I'll be doing that with that. I've kind of laid out here, I have the stencil, and that's the postage grid stencil. And I just kind of did a quick layout of the stamps and things that would fit on here. I am going to be ink smushing and cutting out the letters of his name. I am using the Distress White Heavystock for all of those things because it can hold up to the water a little bit better. So the panel for the postage is going to be also that same Heavystock because I'm going to be using my water brush with some Gina K inks. The one that I'm going to ink smush and do the letters with, I did put on the back double-sided adhesive. I just used the 1-inch tape for that. Just put 2 rows. The letters for the name, I have the Alphanumeric Tiny Type Lower, and this is Sizzix for Tim Holtz. And they're very, very small letters, but they fit right in there perfectly. This plaid paper I just love is coming from the Gina K Designs Poppy Prints patterned paper. This has a lot of really good ones in there, but I really like the plaid. I did the layout of the arrangement here. I used the Hello Baby here. And this is from the Gina K Designs-Baby Girl stamp set. And then the other ones were from the April Showers stamp set from Gina K. This one has all the dies too, but I'm going to be stamping right on there. Let me see. The outlines, I'm going to be using the slate, and then I'm going to heat emboss over that so that the outline color doesn't smear when I use the water brush on it. I went through and I picked out the colors that matched with this plaid the best, and it was Tomato Soup, Moonlit Fog, Stormy Sky, and Slate. So I'm going to use these colors to paint in the pictures there. Okay, so let me clean this up. I'm going to cut this out so we're ready to go, and I will be right back. Okay, I got that all cut out, and I wanted to show you a tip for trying to get all these little holes out. I just have, you can use anything. This is a Sizzix mat, but I do also have a Simon's stamp one that's like a little paw. But basically it's like a piercing mat, but it also kind of catches all these little dots so they're not flying everywhere. But what you can do is just take your pokey tool and just run it right down, and they will all pop out. And I just like this mat because they don't fly everywhere. I was trying to see if I could find my paw one. But anyway, so you just run down and it makes it a lot easier to get all these things out. Okay, check the back. Got them all. So and then you just take this and you just dump it into the garbage. Very easy. All right, let's see what to do first. I'm actually going to do the ink smushing for this first so that this can get drying, and then we can move on to doing the stamping on this. So my glass work surface here, this one is from Glassboard Studio. I love it. I just got it for my birthday. And this is the Lilac Meadow, I believe it's called. And this is a magnetic mat. And it has these crazy magnets that are really, really strong to hold down your work. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a combo, I think, of the Stormy Sky and the Slate, because I want it to be a little bit darker. So you just put the ink on your work surface and then spray it a little bit. I'm just going to break this up. And then you just smoosh it in there. And it kind of gives you a like a watercolory look. Just nice and soft. Look at that, it looks so pretty. And then what you can do is you can dry it and then go for another layer, because then it will layer up the colors and give you additional texture. I just have my Ranger Heat It tool here. If you just kept putting on more and more layers while this was still wet, they would all just kind of blend together. So if you dry it in between, it'll give you that depth. See, I know you have the different colors. Okay, just gonna wipe up my mat. And give this a dry. Okay, I'll put that aside to keep drying. Alright, so we have that. Let's see, how do we want to do this first? I'm just going to get out my Misty. going to put the stencil right over this in here so I can see where I need to put the stamps. Alright, have those all set on there. I don't think I've used all of these yet, so I'm just rubbing the stamps to get the factory residue off. I'm going to take that off. And I just want to make sure that this is not going to move from the spot. I'm just going to tape it. And the grip mat will usually hold it, but this is really thick paper and it's kind of bowing up a little bit, so I just want to make sure that it'll stay. A little spot on here. Okay, so I do want to heat emboss this. So first thing to do is I'm going to do the slate and get my first layer down. These stamps are so cute. And the best part about the Misty is, see, I missed right there, so I can stamp again and it's in the same place. Okay, great. I'm going to leave the stamps where they are. And just wipe them off. And this is just a Gina K tidy towel, and I keep it in a DVD box. Alright, so we need embossing ink. And first thing that we need to do is we need to use our anti-static powder tool, and this will get off any oils or any static or anything like that that's on the paper, and it'll help the powder to only stick to the ink. Okay, so we have that set. So then we would use the embossing ink on the stamp. I'll do one more layer just to make sure. My magnet is sticking. Okay, I'm gonna try and be a little clever, which I don't know if I can make happen, but I really want the Hello Baby to be sparkly. I just was having another thought on how to make that happen. Sorry, like I lost my thoughts here. Or had too many. Alright. So now we need to do the powder. Okay, I think I'm gonna go this way and see if I can avoid that Hello Baby. Clear back in, and I'm going to go in with the sparkle one. I'm just gonna look and see if I missed any spots. Okay, I think we're good to heat. Just gonna clean up using the Swiffer. The powder kind of goes everywhere when you're doing this, so you want to clean off your surface. So I'm going to use my heat tool, and it's going to be really loud, and I'm just going to let it heat up for a second before I put it to the paper. And you can see in there that the heating element is on, and it's very, very, very hot. Because this one is sparkly, I'm going to heat it from behind first so that all the sparkles don't fly off. And you can see it change there. See, so glittery. And then once it's melted, I just go to the top. So now you can see on that little jumper, it's raised. So once it melts, you want to move on to the next one. Okay, just checking to make sure everything is melted. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Oh, there we go. Everything is shiny and raised and looks really good, and the Hello Baby is very sparkly. Okay. Next, coloring. I think I will use my waffle flower grip mat to hold this for me. Yeah, this paper is very thick and it's kind of a little warped from the embossing. I think this one I'll tape also, just to make sure we're good. Okay. So what you can do so that you can have, you know, matching colors to your projects is you can use the inks to paint, which is pretty cool. So just trying to move these letters out of the way, put them in my magnet dish so I don't lose them. So you just want to think about, you know, where do you want to put the colors? I think this one I'm gonna put like a little bit of the orange for the shirt and do some Stormy Sky for the jumper part of that. Alright, so all you need to do is you just put the ink on there. And then you take your water brush. This one's a Nuvo water brush and it is the fine tip. So you fill it with water and then you push it on the sides and the water will come out here. I don't know if you can see that. So that's wet. So then you just put it in the ink and basically it becomes watercolors. And the good thing about doing the heat embossing is that the paint or watercolors will stay. It makes like a little well. Because the heat embossing is raised. I'm just going to keep working on this, and I'll speed it up and come back periodically to talk about the colors that I'm using. Okay, I'm gonna actually put on here the pockets and the straps and like the kind of belt part. I'm gonna do a little bit darker with the slate, so I'm gonna go back in a little bit, but I want to do up here with the clouds, and over here with the carriage, but I want to water this down quite a bit, so I just squeezed my brush onto the ink to let the water out. Now I'm just mixing it up because I just want a really lighter color for the clouds. Okay, and I did go a teeny bit out right here, so I cleaned off my brush, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of water over that spot, and then I'm gonna take a paper towel and dab that up, and then hopefully once that dries it will be all good. And if not, we can always turn it into some shading or something like that. There's always ways around, right? Just trying to think of how I want to color this. Okay. Just going to use a paper towel and clean this up. Now we can go with the orange. might go over that with the dark gray. Let's see how it dries. Alright, let's see. I'm going to put in the dark gray and kind of see where things are ending up. Do the slate. And that's a really dark color, so you might want to dilute it quite a bit. It looks really interesting, the mix-up of those colors together. I think I might darken these up a little. Alright, that looks pretty cute. Alright, and I think that we should get some yellow over there, and yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Just thinking. We could probably bring in, we just need a little bit, but maybe do the stars with the Moonlit Fog to bring in a little bit more of the green color. Maybe a little over here too. Okay. I'm just trying to get that color off so we can use the yellow without turning it green. And I did go out the line right here a little bit. Try to blend that out. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna find a yellow that would work. Just have a scrap. Ooh, that's a good moon color. Alright, we'll do that. This is the lemon drop. And I only need a teeny weeny. That looks really cute. I'm going to add a little yellow into the stars. Let me show you what we have so far. Sorry about the glare on the mat. I think that looks really cute. Alright, let's see. Next, we can cut out the letters. I'm just going to stick the flat sides to the sticky side of my pixie tape. And then just stick them on there. Okay. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine and I will be right back. Okay, let's see if we can get these off of here. The tape got super stuck. And these are just peeling right up from the adhesive, so those are sticky right now on the back. Alright, let's see. And I did want to ink blend on here around the edges. To give it a little depth on there. But now I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, I don't know, I kind of like it just plain, but I'll give it a shot. Let me define where the stencil went off to. Okay. Found it. It was right in front of me, of course. Because this is so warped, I am just gonna tape this down. Okay, I have the Gina K detail brushes. So we'll see what we can accomplish here. I don't want it to be too dark. First I'll go with Stormy Sky. But I just kind of want to go around the edge a little bit to give it a little, just a little definition of each square. Yeah, that looks cute. I like that it just gives it a little highlight. This one I'm going all over because I'm putting the letters on top of that. Oh, that looks really cool. All right. One more. Let's see. I'll try the Moonlit Fog. I'm just rubbing off the color onto a paper towel. Oh, that looks so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright. I am going to use, I'm going to leave the stencil on. And I'm going to use this as a guide to put the letters on. So I can hopefully try to get them straight. Let me just wipe up the stencil. Okay, let's see. Alright, I have a little silicone mat here. I'm gonna see if I can get out the letters first. Just set them. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch me fiddling with all these things. Okay, so I have all of the letters except the one that just fell on the floor. Alright, having a day, having a day. Alright, let me see if I can find my T-square. Okay, so my new nephew's name is going to be Setsu. And so it works out that it's 5 letters, so I started with the middle one. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is so cute. I feel like I want the T to be higher. I don't know if I can get it still. Oh. Awesome. Alright, I'm just gonna burnish that on there. So here is the card, front, I should say. I think that looks so cute. I love it. So now we need to make the background and the card. So this one, the card base, I mean. So this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I need to write that down because I cannot remember that. So if we want to add, I want to have a pretty good border because I love this paper. So I'm going to add a 1/2 inch. So 4 by 5 1/4. And then I can just do the regular card base. So that works. Okay. Let me grab my trimmer. Alright, this is my Spellbinders trimmer, and it has the scoring right on it and the cutting blade. We don't, it does have an extendable arm, but we don't need that today. Except now I got squished in there. Alright, anyway. So 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Okay. And then we can make a regular card base. I'll just grab a piece of paper. Actually, I'm wondering if we should put it on like a gray card base. Let me go grab that paper and I'll be right back. Okay, grab the paper. Let's see. We have the Slate and the Stormy Sky. So we'll check this out. See what we like the best. Alright, so here is white. Which is fine. Oh, that looks so good. With the Stormy Sky. Oh. This is the Slate. I think I'm gonna go the Slate. It kind of gives it more of a modern look, I think. I don't know. Alright. I just noticed I had a little fuzz on the corner of that. So I just have this sanding block, and it gets off the hairs. Okay, so then we need, this is a 8.5 by 11. We'll cut it at 5.5. And then we score it at 4 1/4. And then I use the ledge here to make sure the sides are lined up. Yeah, I think that looks great. Let's see. I think we could pop this panel up. That would look nice. Alright, let me just find my foam tape. Okay, I'm just going to use, this is the Big Mama foam tape, and it's very thin. So it just gives you a little bit of loft. And then I have my Simon Says Stamp Everyday scissors, and these are great because they're coated with Teflon, so it will not stick to sticky things. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. And I'm trying to avoid the holes on that because I don't want it to show through. Too tall. wax. Alright, good to go. Just need to layer this up. Oh, I love that. It looks so great. This little hair on the edge is like there. Okay. So this, I'll just use my tape runner. So there's our card for today. I think that came out great. And stick around and I will show you how I make the inside panel. Okay, here is how I'm going to decorate the inside of the card. For this one I have the Baby Boy set from Gina K Designs, and I grabbed in there the Welcome to a Little Someone New, which I thought was so cute. And I put that in my mini Misty. And I'm going to use the slate because that is going to tie in with the card base that we used. And I did make sure to put my little stamp on there. Oh, that looks really nice. Give it one more go. Oh, that looks so great. Sorry for the squeaks. And I also had somewhere, here it is, I had cut a piece off of the, from the plaid that we used on the front. And my plan is, I was going to glue this in here. So it's just a nice little tie over from the front. I think because this is so thin, I'm just going to use my double-sided adhesive tape. And this one's the 1/4 inch. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. I love this. This is how I keep my tape. This is the score tape stacker, and they all fit on there, and you have a little cubby thing on the front, on the top too. But I love it just to keep all of my tapes together. Okay, so we have that in there, and when I get ready to send this out, I will write my note, and then I will just put this in here with my tape runner. I very much I make mistakes almost every time when I'm writing a card, so I would rather ruin this than my whole thing. So I always like to do an inside panel for safety. Alright, so that is our card and inside panel for today. I hope you enjoyed the card and all the techniques that we went through today. I will list everything in the description box, and my links are affiliate links, which means if you click on them and end up making a purchase, I might earn a small commission from that at no charge to you, and that really helps me out and my channel, and I greatly appreciate you shopping through my links. Okay, so until next time, take care, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Bye-bye.